Hello everyone, this is Rebel Whovian and today I will be doing a custom figure showcase. This time it will be an Asylum Dalek from Asylum of the Daleks. I decided to make this figure as when I was a child I often didn't take a lot of care of my action figures, so most of my older Daleks were in bits. However, I wanted to make some use of them, so I decided to make an Asylum Dalek. I also wanted to make it as after Series 6 lots of action figures weren't released, so I wanted to make some Series 7 figures. I've already made a few which include the Doctor from Hyde, which you would have already seen on my channel, and a snowman, which should be on my channel soon. To make this you'll need a Dalek, preferably an old one, milliput to sculpt the gunk and tentacles, pliers to add damage to the Dalek, a saw to cut pieces off such as the dome, superglue to glue the bits of the Dalek together, paint and brushes. Firstly, I took the Dalek apart, got my saw and cut off the next section so I was just left with everything below that. I then separated the dome from the neck and added damage to it using the saw and pliers. I also removed the eye stalk. I prized open a few sections of the dome using a saw just to make it look more damaged. After this I got some milliput and sculpted some wires onto the top of the dome, and then I painted them black. Now that the dome was done, I went onto the main body of the Dalek. Firstly I removed the plunger and gun, and then I damaged the gun using pliers. I then got the saw and cut away a massive section of the midsection on the left. I placed a piece of card behind the damage so I could sculpt some gunk onto it. When that was dry I painted it green. Once this was done I got the saw and pliers and added more damage to the Dalek. This included cutting away at the base, cutting off a few of the spheres and adding some scratches to the body of the Dalek. I then sculpted a load of tentacles using milliput onto the Dalek in various places to look like the mutant was trying to escape. I let that dry for 4 hours and painted all of them a white colour. Now that that was done, I pieced everything together by supergluing the dome to the top of the midsection and gluing the gun into place. All that needed to be done now was the weathering. I used green, black and brown paint to add weathering to the Dalek. I did around 5 coats of them to make it look really dirty and destroyed. After that, it was finished. Details wise, I'm really pleased with how it came out. It looks destroyed, especially with the dome resting on the top and the gunk on the side of the Dalek. I'm also really happy with the tentacles as it makes the Dalek seem alive. I think the weathering came out really well as well, and would definitely fit into the Asylum. There are a few details that I could have refined and added though. Firstly, I'm not too happy with the paint on the tentacles, as I was going to paint them a pinky colour, but I opted for white as I thought it would be easier. However, the white sort of scratched off in places, and the black weathering I added over them doesn't really work. I was also going to add the Asylum logo onto the Dalek. I tried to do this a few times by cutting out a template, painting it and pushing it onto the Dalek to make an imprint, but this didn't work, so I didn't include it, but if I did add it, it would have made it a lot better. Apart from those things though, I think it's come out really well, and details wise, I think it's pretty spot on to what you'd see in Asylum of the Daleks. Doing a size comparison with a standard bronze Dalek, you can see that the Asylum Dalek is smaller for obvious reasons. The proportions are a little different however, as the standard Dalek is the latest sculpt from 2008 onwards, and the Asylum Dalek uses the original Dalek sculpt, which is a bit chunkier and less accurate. However, I do think the contrast between the two looks really good. Overall, I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm glad I made this, not only because I can add a figure to my Series 7 collection, as well as add another Dalek to my Dalek collection, but also there's a lot of creative liberties you can take with Asylum Daleks, so it's actually really fun to make, and looks great on display. It is one of the trickier customs that I've made, mainly due to the use of the saw and pliers, but once it's finished it will be worth it. I'd like to update this in future by changing the colour of the tentacles to a fleshy colour, as well as adding the red Asylum logo somewhere onto the Dalek. As well as this, I would like to make a few more damaged Daleks in the future, as they're really fun to make. I do have a few more broken Daleks, so that is a possibility. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.